Hello and welcome to my own personal review of NBA 2K12, the new gameplay they put out between the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Clippers. I'm basically just going to go over some fundamental stuff and see what they've done to improve their game from 2K11 to 2K12. So we're gonna get right into the tip here, and they kept the same commentators, which is fine. Even though we'd like to see more, but you can't get them all in at once. But the very first thing that I would like to point out as soon as they win the tip here is I see a new sort of dial around the player, and what I think that is basically their stamina is blue and their range is at the bottom of it. See, Paul Pierce, step back, he had 4 out of the, I think it was 7. So it's up to 7 range. Of course, Ray Allen's going to have 7, and Rondo probably only having 2 or 3. So, yeah, they kind of got that nailed. I can kind of see how they're expanding inside that regard. As Blake Griffin splits the double team, there's not a lot of contact there. I'd really like to see a little bit more defensive contact. There was help on the double team, but it just didn't stick enough. I don't know what to say about that. It just didn't stick. But Ray Allen comes off that screen perfectly, raises up, and does what he does. So even though that was a 2, there's a set play for Ray Allen, as you can see. And they're using the broadcast zoom, which I normally just play inside the normal 2K view because it helps me with controlling my players. So. But they leave off Mo, and I mean, he can't make it, but Blake gets the offensive rebound, throws up a crazy shot, and Chris Kamen's going to get that board and lay it back in. Now, the thing is about that clip that I like is that Chris Kaman is one of the profound rebounders of this league. He's pretty good at what he does, especially offensive rebounds, so I can understand that rebound completely. And I think that's a pretty skilled rebound that he got, too. And right there, we actually see some playing the passing lanes, but Paul Pierce is going to hit a drifter. Maybe 5 years ago you would see that from Paul Pierce, but I don't know, he's kind of getting to the point to where he might not be able to drift anymore, but good shot nonetheless. It's a good way to pump fake and steer clear of the defense and rise up, so that's good shot selection, in my opinion. Right here we have Blake Griffin actually on Paul Pierce, and let's see if he can actually abuse this. Should have passed it to Chris Kaman underneath the basket, but CPU, what can you do? Passes out to, I think, Eric Gordon, and he's just going to shoot it out of bounds. And actually making some subs here, and I haven't pointed out yet that the scoreboard in the bottom right-hand corner actually is more glossy, and it has a more clear effect to it, so I kind of like that. I'm liking the changes they did physically to the layout so far. It's making it look a tad bit new, and especially with the dial, and that's KG's shot, but sadly he misses the fadeaway for KG, so I'm kind of glad to see that, and especially getting strokes right is very important. I guess you can just code that from last year's game to this year's, so it's not that big of a deal, but whatever. And he left him wide open. I mean, Mo Williams is going to knock that down pretty much, I'd say 7 times out of 10 from being wide open, maybe even more than that. I mean, Paul Pierce has just got to get up in him a little bit. I was really hoping to see a little bit of defense during this trailer. As you see Ray Allen taking it to the cup and drawing the N1 on Blake Griffin. Now, you might call that non-realistic, but Ray Allen can be explosive at times. We've seen it before inside his career. And that is what I'm curious about, Ray Allen missing a free throw. I don't care what difficulty you're playing on, Ray Allen should hit 90% of his free throws or more. So, yeah, I was kind of upset to see him miss, but what can you do? And nice little step back there. I don't know if Mo can actually do that. That's borderline right there. I'll give him that. But as we see here, we're setting up a play for Paul Pierce, and there's a new go to the selection, and it starts falling away, and you sort of clicks. It sort of just clicks, and there it is. And it starts to play, so I sort of like that. It's not like last year's where it was just like go to a target and it's so obvious that it's there, and sometimes it wouldn't even register that you're even there. So now it sort of like fades in and fades out, so I kind of like that, and I think that'll be a great addition. Like I said, I like what they've done physically to improve the layout, It's not too different from what we're used to, but it's enough improvements that I see that's going to change the game enough to where I like it even more. So here we have Kaman backing down. Not able to get it. And now we see Blake Griffin hanging on the rim trying to get that. And you actually see that nowadays. And Ray just does what he does. Spots up into the left wing and nails it. So, but yeah, you sort of see that in the NBA now. Like, you'll go up automatically expecting maybe a tip slam or a putback or something like that. So, you know, that's nice to see. You know, Blake Griffin knowing that the play's over, just hanging around, I guess. But yeah, you see that in the NBA quite a bit. So that's a nice feature, I guess. It's not really too important, but that's nice to have. And here we see a screen and roll, and no switch. Rondo gets back in front of him. A-okay. But a weird pass inside gets through, but not able to get the board. And a weird pass there. I don't know how that got through to DeAndre Jordan, but whatever. And here we see Rondo trying to abuse inside the post, but couldn't quite get it. That's not necessarily a shot that he would take. He's more of a pass-first point guard for this league, but whatever. And that's a nice little defensive play there. I was looking for some defense, got a block. I kind of like it because Glenn Davis versus a smaller guard. You know, Glenn Davis is going to be able to block most of the time. So, maybe not versus a fast guard, but I'm pretty sure that was either Mo Williams or Eric Gordon. I can't quite tell from that last clip, but it was a close call. I'd say that's a good sign of defense right there. Griffin just goes by and sort of like nonchalantly scoots in, I guess you can say. You know, I didn't really like seeing that, but I can understand, you know, he let him go right by him and he just cruised his way to the basket. Now here, there's a lot of maneuvering in and out, going up, down, and around type moves with Rondo instead of this one. I can see from so far, whoever the player is playing it. And you cannot, you got to get back on defense. Come on now. Left Eric Gordon wide open. He's coming up the ranks as a really good player. And right here we see the very first edition of NBA 2K12's walking the dog. As you see, trying to save time, Rondo going to see Jermaine O'Neal, but I don't know about that lay-in. So, hope you enjoyed. October 4th is when the game's coming out, and have a nice day.